What's up, YouTube? My first video. It's not my specialty, but we're going to be repairing my Thermador oven today. The latch mechanism on the upper oven has stopped working and I can't clean my oven. Got this at Appliance Parts Pro for like $100. I've got the oven pulled out of the wall already. I don't know what model this is. I bought, or year it is. I bought it used, but the model number is in this grill. You can see that sticker through the grill there. That's where the model number is and the serial number. It's not going to come out on the screen, unfortunately. Alright, so I've got it pulled out because I don't know whether to get to the latch mechanism through the top or if I can get to it through the front. I'm going to try the front first and see what happens. Here we go. Alright, my stop motion software is not going to work for me today, so skip to, I've taken out a few screws and gotten the face panel off and got this vent off, and now I can see the latch in there, but it's still really not accessible, and I think I've got to come down from the top. I've noticed now that I've been monkeying with this thing that there is a panel near the front of the oven right in here that should come off with just a number, just 5 screws maybe, so we'll see how that goes. See you back here when I'm done. Just a note before I start, I nearly won the Darwin Award by having this oven fall forward out of its space because I had the door open and it put a lot of weight on the front of the oven, so I'm going to take the doors off. Both doors, not only the door that's going to be open, but the lower door, so that I have less weight on the front of the oven, so that this thing hopefully will still sit in the compartment without falling forward while I get it pretty far out to get access to this panel. So, taking the doors out. I thought I was assuming too much. Sorry, I'll go step by step. Taking the doors out. Here are the hinges. They have this little latch when the door is all the way open. You flip this little latch over that little hook and that will lock the hinge in place. I'll do the other one and then you'll see how the door just comes right out. These things weigh a whole bunch. You'd be surprised. Oh, yeah. Another problem that I've had with this oven is that these hinges stop closing the doors, and I've seen lots of posts out there referring to that problem. So if you haven't had that problem yet, get ready for it. And the hinges are discontinued, and the best solution I found out there on the interwebs was jamming a washer inside the compression spring, or a couple of washers in the compression spring, to make the springs a little more lively to keep the door shut. That's another video. Alright, I'm going to pause it while I take out some screws. Okay. Taking the 5 screws out of the top of this panel, and we're going to see together what's under here. Whoa. There's another layer between this and that lock. It's getting complicated by the second here. Okay. Interesting. Okay, one more attempt to come at it from the top. This panel actually was screwed in with a number of small screws. Where are you? Along the side there you see a couple of screw holes. There's 4 that you get from the top and 2 that you get from the front. 1, 2. And now this thing is free, but there is a big old wiring harness back there that is preventing me from pushing it back, which is what I want to do rather than take it out. And so right now I'm just trying to move those wires around so I can get this out of the way and get to that latch, which I can just about see almost when I push this back. It's starting to peek its head out there. Alright, back in a flash. Okay, falling victim to some serious mission creep here. I did end up pushing the oven all the way out so that I can get to this rear access panel. I'm going to go get my tight quarters screwdriver, take these 6 screws out of the top, and see if I can get in there that way. Okay, here's my little cheapy ratcheting screwdriver that I'll get into this tight space under this in this cavity here. I was probably able to push that panel back and access the latch, but I was afraid I was going to cut some of the wire, the sharp edges of that housing. So I'm just going to be careful here and do it the right way. It'll be fun getting back in, eh? Start to wiggle. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's free. All right. There we go. Hello. Have enough hands for this. Okay. There she blows. There's that wire harness. That wouldn't get out of my way. No idea where I'm putting these screws. Alright, let's get our camera settings back. And sorry if you're vomiting. What else was I doing? Autofocus. There we go. Okay. Now, oh, maybe I'll just take that wire harness apart and then I'll be able to push this back. I think I'll do that. Something else holding it back, which is what? I think these wires that go down to the assembly are the things holding it back. All right, we've got to label some wires and disconnect. Okay. Fun times. So several of the wires that go through the housing here needed to be disconnected. There's one of the connectors right there that goes through the hole and then up into the motherboard on top. So anyway, now looking down on top of the oven, we do have access to the lock and motor assembly, which will be easily removed at this point with a screwdriver. And then we'll have to figure out how the wires connect to the new part. All right, here we go. Oh boy. So, got the new part in my hand, old part there. The old part uses two switches, which you see right there, little feelers that turn on and off depending on the position of the motor as it's linked to the arm. The new switch has the new mechanism has three switches, two of which have a jumper that are used in conjunction with each other to determine the position of the sensor or of the motor. And perhaps there's a temperature situation somewhere in there. I don't quite understand, but basically they came up with a new and better idea for this. But the instructions that came with the new part, while they mention that it's different, don't exactly explain how that's all supposed to work. There are still 4 terminals waiting for wires and 4 wires here on the old one. The problem is, how are they supposed to work together? Okay. Sounds like I have a headache coming up as I try to figure this out. Wow. YouTube. Here's the piece of paper that came with this part, and you can see 2 diagrams there that I thought were going to be useless because the wires are labeled with seemingly random and unusable numbers. However, the wires that connect to the old part actually have numbers stamped on them. Now this will be a miracle if I can get this to work. For example, I'm holding, come on, number 6. Those 2 spots right in front of my thumbnail are actually the stamped label. It's different than the writing that describes, there you go, number 6. Different than the writing that describes the wire, which is even finer print, but somebody somewhere stamped numbers on all these wires, so wiring is not going to be as difficult as I thought. Goody. Okay. All the numbers worked out as far as the diagram is concerned. There's the new part installed and the screw holes lined up. That's always reassuring. Let's see, there were no differences on the terminal of the motor there. There was no way to differentiate. I assume it works with either polarity, but I did put the orange wire on the right side as it was on the original. We'll see how that goes. Now I just have to put everything back together the way I took it apart. One of the pieces actually fell out entirely. I did label most of it, and I'm going to do this all within about an hour, so what I didn't label, hopefully I'll just remember. And we'll see if the oven clean cycle works when I am done. Okay, back in flash. Okay, YouTube. That is the oven going through its cleaning cycle after replacing the oven lock. Symptoms were I would set it to the clean cycle for the upper oven. You hit the clean button, a number, and then the clean button again. It waits, and then nothing happened, and it was defaulting back to just doing nothing. The clean cycle on the lower oven still worked, so I assumed that the control board was working properly, and I thought probably the motor on the latch was busted. Seems to have been the problem because the new assembly works and the upper oven is again cleaning. Purpose of my video is to show you what it looks like when an amateur attempts to repair their own stuff. I made a lot of mistakes. Almost killed myself when the oven started leaning on me as I had a couple tools in my hand. But I encourage you guys to go for it because it's easy, and like Joe Pesci says about the drive-thru, probably true about appliance repair as well. Take care.